Well, we decided that we're not going to kill him, that we're going to keep him alive, and that Ajax should be I was about to say unarmed. He should take his weapons away.
He's already unarmed.
Yeah.
Partly unarmed.
I guess.
And I believe it ended with him throwing down his shield, and he's now asking, or it was the question of like whether or not he should continue with us. I think.
Yeah, there was definitely a little bit of chatting after the fight with the shadowed figure, or I think it was dubbed "sexy, saucy, spooky lady" or something
Yes.
like that. Is how it was written in the owlbear. There was a very good kind of heart-to-heart and talking down of Cam as he blatantly stole one of Ajax's hand axes. Well, that's fun. Ajax's hand axes. Didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
You could patent that.
I know.
He should open up a shop. It's time for his adventuring to end.
Yeah.
Hand jacks. Nope.
Hand jacks?
Close enough. And yes, you graciously allowed Ajax to live. And there is a moment of the tension kind of dying down here as Ajax sort of shaken, finally waking up from whatever comatose kind of state he was in after the shadow had been exorcised, I think. Exorcised? Okay.
Exorcised, yeah.
Yeah, exorcised? Okay.
Exercised, yeah.
I don't watch a lot of horror movies.
I had to Google it up when I was coming up with the episode name.
I like the episode name. You still find yourself kind of tucked in this little sort of crater on the side of the mountain. Ajax throwing down his shield, throwing down his hand axe, just kind of still wide-eyed trying to process what had just happened as the memories start coming back to him. Ceridian had bandaged up his wounds as best as possible, and there is kind of some side glances as you take your short rest. Ceridian kind of keeping an eye on a few members of your party, sitting next to Ajax, staying very quiet unless spoken to, as Elle had a little conversation with her. What do you all want to do? If you have not done so already, you can take a short rest. For those of you that lost your max HP during the fight, you do not get that back.
Because I've got the temp HP from when we short rested.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Then we did
We
do
did.
it.
We
Okay.
did already.
Should everyone have 10 temporary? Is it 3?
No, it was 3.
It was 3?
Yeah.
Whoever,
So everyone should
whoever
have
ate a
3
cookie.
temporary hit points
Yeah.
from Mrs. Q's cookie.
Yeah.
So if you don't have that, make sure you add it as well.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was pretty close to going down. I'm at 40 still, so
Okay.
technically 43.
Alright, so as we near the end of your short rest, I guess, is there anything that you wanted to do during or at the end of this?
A nice hand axe.
Thanks. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, found it in the bush.
Nice.
It's weird how these things just keep showing up.
Why does it say Ajax on the pommel?
Well, I thought I'd carve his name into it just to like remember where we were when we found it.
Oh.
Yeah, I like to
that's very nice,
commemorate things based on like life events.
Have you done that for other stuff?
Yeah, everything's got names
What
on
else? What else has a name?
it. Well, I usually give those stuff away like that.
What'd you write on my hat?
And you see on the hat,
What do I see?
you see like currently scribbling in with my mage hand. Was it the
The pocket,
Yeah,
the pocket there, yeah.
Forgot about that hat.
Well, you don't like my frog hat?
Ceridian just kind of like gives you a look as she's finishes bandaging up her own like
It was a frog hat, right?
It was a frog hat.
Yeah.
frog
Yeah.
hat.
Yeah, it's a
There were
frog
2
hat.
hats. There was another one, I think, with the big feather.
Mhm.
Who had that one?
Dace?
Dace.
Dace had
Yeah.
that one, yeah.
Did you keep that one back? No, you left the denim one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, that was ages ago.
One might say a
Wow.
lifetime.
Story, no, I still have the fedora with the feather in my inventory. So
Great.
Gotcha.
There you go.
Remind me who, when we were on our way before all of this went down, was in charge of like the map and where we were going and how we were getting there. Was it me? No, was you?
I think you had a physical one. He has a digital one.
Oh, okay.
Look, I pinched and it's
Yeah. Zeus.
Zoom in like an iPad.
Mrs. Q asks Cam to open up his special map so that we can figure out exactly where we
See
are.
it pan out now?
And what am I seeing?
It's
How far are we?
I
Alright.
don't know.
Wow, you suck at this.
So we're gonna have a teacher moment here. Oh, some of these have to come off. That one cannot be on there.
We're getting props.
This one cannot be on there. These ones cannot be on there.
Okay.
You're not allowed to see what I have going on.
No treasure hunt?
Here's the map.
Yay.
Steph, I'm sorry. I don't know if you can see. You likely cannot see that.
Yeah.
On the campaign page,
Can
Steph,
I Google it?
Do you want me to like...
you can Google it. It's also on the campaign page.
Yeah, that's
So if you go to your campaigns
Okay.
in D&D Beyond, it's right there.
D&D Beyond. I'll find it.
You got
They
just
haven't-
that shield
I'll find it.
Lorelei.
They haven't paid enough for us to do this.
Oh my god, that was so good. Okay, so you guys are currently kind of right around this area in like the foothill area of the mountains. So
Sure.
Steph, if you look on the map and you see like the bandit fortress, if you basically just
Yep.
kind of go, you know, a straight shot south to the end of the mountains is the general area-ish of where you are, roughly. You are trying to make it to Brackenmill. So you know with some good weather days, good weather on the days you are traveling, good God. The time to get from the bandit camp to the to Brackenmill was about 4 days of travel on foot. And you were able to significantly cut down some of that time because of the path through the mountain that Brenna took you through.
Okay.
But still, you do have it's been about a day. This is the morning of your second day on a 4-day journey.
I'm curious what that one little tree off in the distance is.
The one little tree.
Top right corner.
Top right corner. Oh, maybe you'll find out. Now I gotta remember where this went.
We gotta go there now.
Alright, turn around.
Tree.
Let me know if you need me to link the map stuff.
I found like an incredibly interactive Humblewood map in World Anvil, so I'm good.
Yeah, there you
But
go.
yeah, this one tree.
Oh, was it marked in World Anvil?
Oh boy.
Did anybody annotate what's
Yeah.
there?
Yeah.
Spoilers.
It's very cool.
That's really neat.
Why did it say
You
all
should
like
like
magic
it.
items?
Yeah.
Mrs. Q, having looked at the map, and sort of looking at the day, she casts. Which one is it? I don't remember which one it is. Nope, maybe not that one. Okay, she casts Druid Craft, and a little glowing orb, golden orb, appears in front of her, and she's able to determine the weather in the area for the day.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a d20 for an adventure roll, because that's going to help determine.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. 13.
13. Yeah, the weather for the day. What do you get from Treecraft? That's pretty cool.
I love that. I'm like so excited that you use that.
The weather.
It's
for the
really
next
We
neat.
haven't had too many
Okay.
druids in our campaigns.
I'm like, if I have a chance, I'll always take it, and I'll
Yeah.
never use that.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
So you see in this little summoned orb, kind of like a crystal ball, kind of like a snow globe, actually. You can kind of see like smoke sort of shifting around, turning from like snowflakes to rain, just kind of constantly moving. And as you sort of focus in and finish the casting of Druidcraft, the little orb stays as looking almost like a bed of swirling, gently moving, like fluffy white clouds.
Okay.
Doesn't look scary, doesn't look harmful.
A little overcast.
Yeah.
Perfect traveling weather. We should get going.
Ceridian at this point is going to kind of stand up. Are we all in this together then still?
All of this together.
That's a yes.
You see her hand like tighten on the hilt of her sword.
You're not a fan?
He sings when he's on board.
She kind of glances over at Ajax, who still just kind of has like his head in his hands, kneeling down, and just kind of sort of looks up at her. She is a very tall servant, and Ajax is currently like head in his hands on the ground. So it would almost be comical if it wasn't such a piercing glance from one to the other. You see Ajax kind of take a deep breath in, close his eyes, his shoulders kind of shake for a second before he stands himself back up, holding his stump arm, the arm that he's missing. Just kind of looking at Ceridian and gives a nod of fine before regarding all of you, just one at a time. I'm still following her. And takes a step back. Ceridian kind of like looks at the rest of you. Let's go then. If trust is something that we can maintain.
Sure.
Looking very pointedly at the one who was about to slit Ajax's throat.
Mrs. Q noticing this particular look. Like waddles up to Ajax and I mean she's kind of playing up the waddle just a tad. And says like I'm a little achy in the mornings. Can I use your arm as we walk? And I just like loop his arm and sort of like ask for some help. Try and get him away from.
It's one good arm.
I'll take whichever arm. I don't really need the help, but
I'm gonna say he kind of acts almost on like an instinct, like a, of course kind of thing.
That's what
you see him straighten just a little bit more, and then you can almost like feel his whole demeanor sort of relax just a smidge as he's pretty insightful. He understands what you did. Nice. And as Ceridian starts to lead the way, Ajax following closely behind. I'm assuming you all follow unless there's any last thing you wanted to do.
Who picked up Ajax's weapons?
I got the axe.
You have the axe.
There was another axe and then...
So I think you were the one that asked him to drop it.
Yeah.
So I'll leave it up for grabs.
There's the shield that we were...
Yeah, I'm not going to take his stuff. Like, we might still need his help.
If you don't take it, Ceridian will. So I'm giving you kind of first dibs since you were the one that asked.
Sure, I'll hold on to it.
Okay, so you have a shield, as well as a +1 hand axe. Alright. So we already had the roll for the day, which is great, but as you're walking along, it does indeed seem like Mrs. Q's forecast was correct. There are like white fluffy clouds in the sky that really do blot out the sun for the most part. So it's not uncomfortable kind of watching where you're going. You don't have to squint. It's very easy to get a lay of the landscape. And as you're moving, the mountains kind of on one side of you, the savannas stretching up to the other, moving through this foothill-esque kind of area. It's very easygoing. There's really nothing that you really need to worry about. The footing is secure. You're not in danger of rock slides here, nor are you in danger of any type of critter sneaking up on you in the long grass, as you only have some minor foliage here and there. So you make good time with the favorable weather. About mid-afternoon, as you are continuing to trudge along, Ajax definitely relaxing as he holds your arm. Ceridian is actually going to fall back towards you, Mrs. Q, so kind of flanking you in between her and Ajax. But yeah, so Ajax is on one side, Ceridian is on the other side of you.
Of me, okay, got it.
And as you are kind of leading the way, Ceridian will keep an eye, making sure that there's enough of a distance between you and the rest of the group, and kind of under her breath, just loud enough for you and Ajax to hear. That little meerkat one, he's a loose cannon. Has that ever happened before?
Mrs. Q.
Steph.
Mrs. Q pauses, and says, no. It hasn't.
She's got your back, bro. Boom.
Let me check certain stats real quick.
Deception check.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, maybe persuasion or deception, depending on what you're trying to do here. So if you're not lying, it would be persuasion. If you're trying to cover for Cam, it's going to be a deception roll.
Mrs. Q wasn't planning on lying.
Okay, so go ahead and make a persuasion check for me here.
Mrs. Q doesn't think that it's comparable.
Oh, interesting.
Oh. A 10.
Mrs. Q has faith in her boys that they're good.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. You can feel Brenna, her hand has not left the hilt of her sword, it's constantly kind of been at this 90-degree, holding on to the hilt of her long sword. And you can hear rather than see her kind of shift. You can hear the buckles kind of moving. He's playing with things that he does not understand. As the daughter of a diviner, the daughter of a seer, he has no idea what he's talking about, and he's going to get himself killed, or he's going to get someone innocent killed in his stead. Yeah, he's juggling in the background. If he made a move against Ajax, I would have cut him down, just so you're aware.
Mrs. Q nods. She understands.
Keep an eye. If he's made a deal with something else, how could you trust him?
Because I always have an eye on all my boys all at once. Mrs. Q adjusts her glasses as she says it.
I sure hope you're right. But I wouldn't be surprised if you're wrong.
Let's hope I'm right for both our sakes.
You think that I'm gonna go to sleep and let him keep watch? No way.
You do whatever you think is best. Mrs. Q doesn't say it with any level of spite or anything. She's just she's sort of at this point in her life where there's nothing new anymore. She's seen so many things. She's okay, so one of them's gone a little off the rails. Big deal. It'll be fine.
Just remember, you have a 12-year-old here with you who, the only one who has, the direct line of sight.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Oh.
You have a 12-year-old here with you, and if she's anything like Emrys, she's special. It would be a shame if something happened to her. And if she's anything like Emerus, she's already seen some bad things. If not for your sake, for hers, please be careful.
I hope I can count on you while we are traveling together to also keep an eye on Elle.
Like I said, if he's up, I'm up. She kind of moves back to kind of go into lockstep. Actually, she would kind of be leading the way, so she would go into lockstep in front of you, just kind of guiding the way to Bracken Mill. But the rest of your afternoon does go by without a hitch. You rolled very well on the table. And as night starts to come, it's very difficult to notice shifting landscape when so much of it just starts to look the same. But as night does start to come, you do start to notice that in front of you, so facing south towards Bracken Mill, you can almost swear in the distance you see the end of the mountain range. Perhaps another half day or so and you will be there. But as you set up camp for the night, Ajax kind of helping you along, Mrs. Q, sort of sticking by you now that he had an idea of kind of what was going on. And as he sticks by you, kind of going around, Ceridian staying a little extra quiet, a little extra alert. Sorry.
No, I'm good.
Unless there's anything you wanted to do at night or do on your watches, I'll leave that totally up to you guys.
Just the usual baking and
Go to
cooking
bed.
for the
Beauty.
next day.
Where are you going?
Bathroom.
Okay.
I thought you said I'm going to bed.
Could
I think I'm going to bed too.
Right now?
Could Elle and Mrs. Q be on the same watch, or does one of us have night vision? I know I don't.
Nope.
And I think, yeah, never mind.
Blind as an old bat
I
when
think-
it comes to the nighttime.
That's not going to stop you if you want to be on the same watch.
Yeah, Ella's gonna take watch with Mrs. Q.
I get. It's having a long rest. I get-
If
I'm making them.
if you're gonna be taking the first watch there, Elle, maybe this will help. And I put my hand on your shoulder, and I give you dark vision for the first hour.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
Whoa!
You can see in pitch blackness. It's like enhanced dark vision. So
Oh, is it like the 300?
300 foot pure
Wow.
pitch black. You can see
Oh
everything.
wow.
Yeah, your eyes glow green while you have it.
Yeah, I imagine she looks like when you look at a cat with the lighting just the right way and their
Yeah.
eyes are like bright.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
What was
Alright.
the thing you said? Like, I'm bored in the darkness.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good night.
Ceridian, before she goes to bed, is just going to kind of, again, whisper over to you, Mrs. Q, if there's a moment, just... If you wake him up, you wake me up too.
She nods. She's fine with it.
And Ceridian will also go to sleep with Ajax. So you guys can go ahead for... Oh, sorry.
They both can get it.
They both can get it?
Yep.
Oh, so you both have enhanced dark vision for the first hour of your watch.
Does it have to be green?
Ooh.
I'll let you choose.
Pink, please.
So we don't have to go through each watch, only if somebody wanted to do something, but since you are taking watches, let's see if you do see anything. So perception checks. It's going to be a straight roll because you do have dark vision, so no disadvantage. And I'll take one from each of you.
What is it again?
Perception.
That's very good. 22.
All right, 22 for Mrs. Q. Elle, perception.
17.
Nice. Okay.
Wow. Feels
Very
good
good
not to be
rolls.
blind.
Really, really good.
Oh.
All right. So during your watch, kind of as you're kind of keeping an eye, the clouds do break. You do get some moonlight that's kind of assisting with you keeping your watch. So that 300 feet is absolutely no issue at all. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's no issue at all for you to get a lay of the land. About halfway through your watch, you hear you hear like some shrieking, some cawing that seem to echo through the mountains. It's hard to pinpoint where it's coming from based on the landscape itself, like open savanna to one side and echoing mountains to the other. But you hear what sounds almost like the shrieking of an eagle, the shrieking of a very large eagle, or that kind of bird of prey, sort of somewhere in the distance. But your watch does go by without a hitch. If you wanted to do anything.
Yeah, while we're sitting by the fire, Elle is going to kind of watch Mrs. Q do her baking, and then she's going to ask her, "Hey, Mrs. Q, we call you Mrs. Q. Is there a Mr. Q?"
Mrs. Q is sort of like, at this point I imagine she's like sort of settled down, she's sitting down, maybe she's pulled out her crochet.
Yeah.
And she sort of like stops for a second, looks up, doesn't say anything.
Gets a little tear in the eye.
Yeah, she does.
Oh.
A little glisten, and says, "There was once," and then just keeps going.
Oh.
That's it?
And that's it. That's
Gonna
it.
give us
That's
more.
all she says.
Ooh.
Do you miss him?
Yes. Simple thing. Just yes.
That's why we call her Mrs. Q.
Elle's just going to nod. I know how that feels, but you're really good at taking care of us, so I figured there must be someone that you've taken care of before.
Mrs. Q smiles and says, "Truthfully, it is I that was taken care of more than the other way around. And he was the best example of care and love that I have ever known." Yep.
Oh, it's really cute.
Elle's just going to nod and pull out her book and start reading it. But she looks a little, I don't know, she's not sad. She just feels a little closer to Mrs. Q now.
Mrs. Q gives her hand a little squeeze while she reads it and continues with her crochet.
Alright. Again, we don't have to play through all of the watches unless somebody wanted to take a watch with somebody. So, boys, if there was anything?
There's something I wanted to do.
Alright. Great.
Are you guys taking a second watch or?
Apoc's in bed.
Yeah.
I guess we can do it this way. Maybe as Elle and I wake up the next people, Mrs. Q will wake up Cam and Ceridian.
Dang.
That's
the next one.
Power move. Alrighty.
Let the story
We're doing some
unfold.
drama tonight.
I do. I want some eventful watches. Thanks very much.
Yes.
Can the rest of the crew actually be like just faking sleeping, just
Yeah.
watching
Sleep
like,
with
some
one eye
popcorn or
open.
something?
Yeah, like the one ear twitches over.
Yeah.
As so Mrs. Q wakes up Ceridian first, and then wakes up Cam. And as Cam's getting up, she looks him square in the eye, and she says, "Play nice,"
Okay.
and then goes and lays down.
Play nice, eh?
Yeah.
I'd love to think that Ceridian kind of overheard that a little bit and just sort of smirks to herself as she sits back for her watch across the fire from Cam.
Elle's gonna see this and like want to stay awake and try to listen, but she falls asleep in like 2 minutes.
You may get like 20 minutes maximum.
Yeah, I'm trying really hard.
Yeah, and in that time, like, Ceridian is sort of laying down not laying down, but sort of in a seated position. Her blade is next to her, right next to Ajax, and is, she is not trying to hide the fact that she is death glaring you, Cam. And there is definitely at least 5 minutes of this, Elle, where you're just sort of caught in the middle of two people death glaring each other. But she will She will sort of just be in this state of hyper aware.
Well, I'll wait till Elle falls asleep. And then it's just the two of us. Unless we have to do anything.
Just roll perception, see what you see. Oh, she rolled pretty good.
23.
Boom.
They just stare at each other really good.
Yeah.
I'd be looking.
When I look at
Yeah.
I just kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll say so. 23. Brenna rolled a 13. So yeah, 20 minutes and Elle is out. The entire 12-year-old.
So
In your watch, I will say you both also kind of hear this caw. It seems like something is awake. Like you're not alone. You've heard it the first time you were out in the.
That was it.
The
That's what I was
4-second
imagining.
delay is so good. You heard creatures the first night you were out in the savannah. Like this is just another creature. You don't know how far away it is, but at the same time, like you know that something is there. You hear the same thing.
So we call you Ceridian. Is there a Damedian?
That's not how that works.
Brenna's ear, her one good ear kind of flicks, but she is a lot better than I am at staying just stone cold. You don't really get a reaction. And she'll just kind of...
I'll take that as a no. And I'll just stir the fire a little bit with the hand axe.
Just.
You,
Like playing with fire.
yeah, I'll say. You're gonna get yourself killed or you're gonna get your friends killed.
Well, I've already done the former.
So I guess all that's left is the latter then.
Yeah, well, there's still time.
I don't know why they trust you. You're only here because I trust the hedge.
Well, good thing she's trustworthy.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, I'm not that bad.
Yeah, we'll see. Her eyes flick to the hand axe in your hand.
So,
If you
Yes.
try and ruin this piece, let me just say, if you try and ruin this piece when something this big is going on,
whoa.
I'm going to.
What do you
ensure
mean
that
ruin
you
this
don't.
piece? I'm as invested in this piece as you are, as
Right.
I'm going along with this group,
Mm-hmm.
mainly because my brothers want to. And once we get the piece resolved, I'm free to go take care of the things that I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
The
Like-
quicker we get the piece done, the quicker I can take off.
And do the things you need to do, like what?
Find my
Killing
fiance.
people, sending souls, finding your fiance. Boy, oh boy.
Finding my Damedian.
Damn.
Were you the same?
Bang.
Were you the same when you didn't have to go find her? Were you the same person, or is she going to be a little
No,
bit
I'm-
surprised?
I'm older and bolder.
Hmm. Well, I hope you don't get her killed too.
Don't plan on it.
Let me just repeat again. If you do anything to ruin this piece, say murder in cold blood my right-hand general, I'm not going to hesitate the way I did before. And I don't care what your friends say.
Well, that's fair. That's very fair. But if you do anything to ruin this piece, consider it the same offer.
Right.
Uno for first card.
I'd say you're brave, but your words are just stupid.
I haven't called worse.
Something's really wrong with you.
Wish it wasn't.
She's still alive.
Wish it wasn't, but I'm working with the hand that I was given, and I'm going to use every single card.
My mother was a seer. She had a direct line of divine magic to the amaranthine. Not the gods, the amaranthine. Whatever this amaranthine is telling you to do, or this creature, is not good. I don't know why you're doing it. Amaranthine don't ask for murders. You might want to rethink whatever deal you made, or whatever promise you made.
Yeah, I don't think it said murder specifically in the clause. I think it gave me the freedom to pick and choose, and based on the signs that your right-hand general was given off, made it pretty clear to see that their luck had been spent.
Ceridian is going to kind of like lean forward as she readjusts, and like she is twice her size standing. She is not a small woman. She is a force to be reckoned with. You can see like the fire is sort of playing off of the like burn scars that she tries to hide with the bandana on her face, and she regards you with for your friend's sake, for your fiance's sake, be careful. Someone is not going to be as understanding as I am. Not for your sake, for theirs. She'll look to Mrs. Q, to Elle, to Basil, and to Apoc. And then she'll lean back.
I was wondering if anyone was snoring.
Yeah.
Well,
Apoc definitely snows.
well, Brenna, that's
A big bubble. Comically large and small.
a really good point, and I see what you mean. Make you a deal. I'll stay out of your business. I'll do what I can not to get any of them hurt. I won't lay a finger on you or your precious generals. And you just leave me. If I get myself in trouble, that's my own mess. Truce? And I take the hand axe, flip it over, grabbing it by the blade, and hand her the hilt.
That's a power move.
It's burning real hot.
She'll let you hang on to it. She's gonna kind of actually do like the this and kind of lean forward and just sort of regard you. We get to Bracken Mill and we go our separate ways, and that's fine. If our paths cross in a less trusting situation, that's a different story.
That's what I'm imagining.
She'll reach up for the hand axe.
And I shake it.
She's gonna kind of like rip it from you a little bit.
I want to hold on to it.
You want to hold on
for
to
goodness
it?
sake.
Make a straight
To the
check.
blade?
Let's pull up her
Ooh, 15.
15. She rips it out of your hand.
She's a little bit flush with it.
She kind of puts like the tip of the blade of the hand axe into the ground next to her as she leans back. Her ear kind of flicks as the like the caw echoes once more through the mountains.
Alright. Well,
Every time, it's so good.
well, I'm glad to see that we're on the same side, at least till there's peace. And for my end, I don't see why that has to change.
Fine. To
And
Bracken
then-
Mill.
To Bracken Mill. And then before the night's done, I want to steal that hand axe back.
It is.
My man.
Make a. So it is right beside her. Like her elbow is resting
Child's
on it.
play. Child's play.
Like, are you waiting until she goes to sleep?
Like right before
kind of
she
thing?
falls asleep. I'll stay up a little later during the next watch and like steal it back.
Okay, so so before she goes to bed, what Brenna would do, she has like a dagger with her that she kind of like sleeps with under her pillow. She does have her sword back in its scabbard where she kind of like rests her arm. The hand axe, what would she do with the hand axe? Just thinking logically. I don't think she's gonna wake up. She wouldn't wake up Ajax. But she also wouldn't have a weapon just randomly out. I would say she's gonna fall asleep with like one hand on her dagger, one hand on the hand axe. So you can go ahead and roll stealth, and it'll be against her
You're just full of
perception at disadvantage if she's
Can I
asleep.
argue that it's sleight of
Already
hand?
appeared.
Sure, yes, sleight of hand, that's the one.
21.
Oh yeah.
Bam.
She rolled a 2. Her perception at
With my
disadvantage.
opportunistic thief ability, I would like to replace it with a little note, like a little scroll that's rolled up, and she can read it when she wakes up.
I love it.
He was such a pot stirrer.
How many hit points do you have? Wait, I can check.
I don't know.
I just picture Sheridian
Eric really wants to
like
play Druid.
spooning this axe, and Cam is just like,
Yeah.
Don't mind if I do. You know.
It's because I gave him the gloves he asked for.
This is the thing, you need to learn fast, and I should have told you this as advice from the last campaign. Don't give Eric things that he wants.
I'm not going to deny that.
No, I
If you
know.
want something, there'll be a way for you to get
I made
it.
that
I'm not
mistake
going to
too.
deny that. That's...
I took a background on how to get those gloves.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So again, unless anyone wants to do anything with the final watch, it just kind of goes by. I'm not going to make anyone roll for it.
I wake up these two.
Okay, so Apoc and Basil, if there's anything you wanted to do.
I think the only thing Basil would do is like realizing who was on watch beforehand.
Mhm.
He'd probably like go up to Cam and be like, "Everything all right?" Just kind of like looking at Ceridian, looking back at you. Just kind of just nods and nods. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
And,
Sorry, I needed a drink.
was there
Okay.
anything you wanted to do on the watch?
I mean, if I'm watching, I mean, I'm pretty upset that somebody woke me up. Did not agree to this. I'll just begrudgingly keep a lookout.
Alright. So.
Who woke me up?
I did.
Apoc will remember this.
Love it.
Alright. Yeah, so you're able to kind of keep watch, no problem. If you want to roll some perceptions, that's great. But it's very easy to hear this.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you don't roll a crit fail, it's very easy to hear this cawing. Difficult to get a direction.
What does the caw sound like?
It sounds like the screech of an eagle. Oh,
That's what I wanted.
I walked right into it.
I imagine it would be like that sound, and every now and then you hear like a from like Sir Basil's pipe.
There it is. Nearly coming.
21.
Yeah. So easy enough. You do hear the eagle. Actually, with your ranger ability, you can kind of get more of a, not ranger ability, just being a ranger in the mountains.
Oh, we're still in the mountains?
You are in the foothills of the mountains, so this does still
Like,
count.
like
Oh,
almost,
no,
at,
so then
almost
that
at the
number's-
end of them.
That number's
Yeah.
bigger then. What's our proficiency is 3, so
Yeah, you're +3.
24.
So for you, you're able to actually get a beat on the general direction of where this thing is. Like, difficult when things
Is it
are
following
echoing,
us?
but
Could I tell that this was following us?
over time, like you haven't seen any creature that is like this, but over time, as you're keeping watch, it almost sounds like the caw is getting closer and then moving away.
Okay.
Getting closer and then moving away. Kind of like something is circling. However, it is in the mountains. Like you are almost outside of it, and the only reason why you're hearing is because of the echo of this.
It's like gone.
And actually, the closer that you do hear, you notice, because you're a ranger in the mountains with a 24, you notice that there are actually a couple different variations of this caw. So you're dealing with more of a flock.
Okay.
of
Huh?
but that's kind of what you get as you kind of listen, at least for the first hour of your watch.
What about the second hour?
We'll get to the second hour in a second. For right now, Elle. As you drift off to sleep, you are used to having quite pleasant dreams for the most part. Sometimes you don't dream at all, sometimes you don't remember. But for you, you're used to things being very fun, very frolicky, very airy, and very kind of like you're, for lack of a better term, walking on cloud nine. The dreams of late have been a little different because the connection to the wind that you've grown up with, something has interrupted that. And you haven't had that direct link to have those same kind of lifting feelings. As you wake in this dream, you find yourself kind of right where you fell asleep. So there's no encampment, none of your friends are with you, but you are the plains extending out to one side, the mountains rising to the other. You are facing south towards Bracken Mill. It's a overcast day, kind of what like you were just traveling through, a little bit on the darker side. And as you kind of just sort of get your bearings, sort of realize where you are, things that look familiar, you turn and you see Emrys, kind of looking around, just as confused as you. And then she kind of turns and sees you and, hi! I wasn't expecting to see you here.
I wasn't expecting to see you here either.
That is
Are you
cool.
here? Or am I somewhere? Or...
Well, this place isn't familiar. Is it familiar to you?
A little bit. I think this is where we last were on our way to Bracken Mill.
Oh,
With
okay.
Ceridian and Ajax and all of my friends.
So you're all safe?
Well, pretty much.
Okay, yeah, pretty much is good. Pretty much is good. Did you need the tea?
Well, I was gonna save it. I still have it with me.
Okay, that's good too. Yeah, if you need it, you can use it. I was curious. What's going on?
I was gonna ask you the same thing.
I don't know, but I feel... Do you feel that? And she kind of puts a hand down towards the earth.
Elle will bend down and put one hand on the earth, but also kind of keep one wing up, since she's usually a bit more in tune with the wind.
Mm-hmm. As you go to reach down towards the earth, like you don't even really make it to contact the earth before a gust of wind kind of pulls you back to standing. It just sort of like lifts your chest and pulls you back. You sort of do a little hop back as you take a little bit of air under your wings.
I feel that. What are you feeling?
Well, it feels like that, but it's in the earth. But it doesn't feel good. Elle, it doesn't feel good. And as Emrys is saying that, the gust of wind that had pulled you back up pushes you from behind and you stumble forward once more as it kind of catches your wings. It buffets you to one side, it buffets you to the other side, and you can feel the winds start to get more and more forceful, pushing and pulling and pushing and pulling. And as Emrys starts to try and stand, you can almost see her shaking as though the ground beneath her is starting to quake.
Whoa.
Elle? Elle, just shush and listen. It's trying to say something. Listen.
And she kind of tries to steady herself in like the most awkward sort of triangle position. What do you do?
Elle's going to try to, I mean, she's pretty acrobatic, so it might be putting her a little off kilter, but she's gonna try to listen and just steady herself as well as she can in the wind, like kind of working with it to try to at least stay a little steady.
Like an airbender.
As you
Kind of.
Yeah. So as you try and steady yourself, you're used to playing with gusts of winds, kind of like an airbender. And as you sort of open
I
out
have
your...
no idea where my inspiration came from.
Yeah. As you have your wings out, your arms out, I don't even know what's anatomically correct, but as you have your wings out,
Yeah.
you sort of move with the lift of it instead of trying to fight against it. And you're able to, although it's buffeting you, you feel yourself lift up off the ground 1 or 2 feet as you just try and connect in a way that you were taught, in a way that you innately know even. And as you sort of close your eyes to try and dial in, it's not a voice that you hear, more of just like an echo in your very being, putting words to a feeling that isn't yours. And you hear, you feel, you think. It's hard to put what it is that you're comprehending. But you hear the words, "There's a crack."
Crack, crack.
I was about to echo myself. We're stuck, but there's a crack. Open the door, help us get back. And as that message is relayed, you can feel the buffeting start to still and gently lower you back to the ground. And before your feet are able to touch down, the world goes black around you.
Trippy.
Before my feet touch down, I'm gonna shout out to Emrys.
Sure, go for it.
Emrys!
Oh, sorry. I thought you were going to shout a word or something. I didn't realize to shout in general. I'm sorry, that's on me.
That's okay.
That was awesome.
That was a good moment.
You shout out, but you don't quite hear anything before the world goes to black. And you fall back into a deep sleep.
Oh, I don't even wake up? Okay.
Do we hear anything? Like, do we... Like, the awake people...
The awake people, no, you don't notice anything out of the ordinary. There's no stirring, there's no tossing, there's no turning.
Would we notice that, like, Elle is maybe, like, stirring in her sleep?
There is no indication of anything out of the ordinary.
Okay.
Other than Basil, you notice Apoc is trying very hard to keep his eyes open, but is slowly starting to lose it.
Okay.
You are exhausted.
Like, do I need to mark that
fight-
down?
It's not a level
Okay.
of exhaustion, but the feeling you had after the fight with the shadow,
Super
losing the
sexy,
color
saucy
in your
shadow.
fingers, the super sexy saucy shadow, losing the color, what little color you had from gray to white in your fingers has left you with an exhaustion that is almost, I want to say spiritual, but it's in your core. It's not that your body is tired, it's that your heart is tired.
Whoa.
And as you try to keep your eyes open, you find yourself, for the last 45 minutes of your watch, succumb to sleep. And you open your eyes to find yourself in the meadow again. although this is very different from what you're used to seeing. As you open your eyes, you are standing, and the world around you is shades of white and gray, but it looks like stained glass. So there are long pieces with edges that almost look like a reflection in a broken mirror or stained glass, like I said. There are shapes that are outlined. The whole picture cohesively is the meadow, and as you turn, it's around you, it's up, it's down beneath your feet. It looks like you are standing on a shard of one of these. What do you want to do?
Oh man. Can I start walking? Do I see anything? Is it all just the same eeriness?
It is silent. You walk, there are no footsteps, there's no wind. It's very strange because it looks 2D, but as you walk, the world is 3D. Like you are walking in a space. But the grass, the trees that you're walking towards look like a 2D picture. One shard containing grass in the foreground and trees in the background. You are able to walk forward, but as you kind of reach out your hand, you either touch nothing or sort of touch up against one of these shards.
Can I like tap it? Like, is there any response?
It feels pretty solid.
Do I have anything? Do I have like my bow or an axe?
You have whatever you had the day whatever went down in the meadow went down. I'll leave that up to you to determine what you had.
Light bow.
Okay, you have a light bow. Make a perception check while you're here as well.
It's a 9.
A 9? This world is so still that it's not very hard to actually notice differences. You notice off to one side there's one shard that appears to be cracked in one corner. Even with a 9, like this is eerie and strange and weird.
You know how like glass is kind of cracked? Could I like try and pick it out? Like
you go to reach out and you touch. It feels like glass, but almost like you're gonna fall through at any minute. You go to touch and pick at it. It expands.
The crack?
Yeah. Do you keep picking?
Yeah. I want to try and break it.
You tap a little bit more. The cracks are getting
Slam
louder.
it with both my
they
hands.
echo. You slam it with both hands, and every crack you made turns into these like micro cracks around your fists. You back away. Behind every line, every fracture, as pieces start to fall, you see emerald smoke just start to pour out. In other pieces, you see gold start to pour out. You see black start to pour out. And almost in like one kind of tipping point as enough pieces fall, every part of this shard drops before you. And as you look up to where the shard fell from, you see the meadow in full color, as bright and as vivid as it was that day behind the shard.
Just keep breaking.
You go to bang another one,
Yeah.
no crack. You go to bang another one, no crack. You can make another perception check for me.
No, I'm just gonna keep banging.
You keep banging until your fists become bruised. Nothing else cracks. And as you take a breather to kind of look at your hand, is there anything else you wanted to do?
Whoa.
Are my hands bloody, or are they just like...
So nothing is breaking to be sharp. It's just like you're repeatedly punching a wall, like you're more bruised than anything, sore. You start to notice some like darkness at the edge of your vision. Kind of just like an aura starting to creep in. As the dream seems to be coming to a close. Is there anything else you wanted to do?
He just yells out a terrified scream like this nightmare won't stop.
And your vision goes dark. And we will take a break there. But we will jump back in. We'll jump back in. So, Apoc.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
Elle slept soundly through her dream. Apoc, since you were at the last, 45 minutes before sunrise, I will leave it up to you how you wake up in this case. You're kind of used to having these disturbing visions.
Yeah. I don't think this is very different from what happens most nights, so it's status quo for Apoc and the group.
As in, you wake up well, or you wake up screaming? Because
Not
you've done
screaming.
both.
No. Oh, I guess that is true.
I'll say maybe in this case, since
Yeah.
it's a bit more status quo, as you said. Basil, you would notice some fidgeting as
Okay.
Apoc is sleeping.
But nothing where
Nothing you haven't
intuitively
seen.
I would have been like trying to wake him up, or just like normal something. It's like kind of
It's,
normal.
it's pretty normal for him.
just like a little twitching here and there. Type
Yeah.
thing. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you all then come to consciousness, you do get a long rest. For those of you that did take a hit with your max HP, you are now restored.
Is it all of it or just?
You are now restored back to your full max hit points, whatever it was before you took the negative.
Moot.
Or the reduction, that's what I'm trying to say. Which I think was only you and Basil, so I don't think anybody else.
Yeah, I was only down 5.
Excuse me. Basil was down quite a bit. Alright, so you all do come to consciousness. Ceridian and Ajax as well. They're sort of stretching out, ready to start their day. You were able to kind of get back on track with some sleep, so it is like very early morning, like a dawn. Just after dawn, I'll say. The sun is up. It looks to be alright so far this early in the morning. If there's anything you want to do, please just stop me. Otherwise, I am going to need an adventure roll for today.
I didn't say I was rolling for it.
Okay.
13.
13.
Is there a second one prepared?
I did. I do. This time I do. Alright, so 13. Okay. So if there's anything you want to do at any point, just stop me. Otherwise, we're going to jump right in. Okay.
I
Hey,
think
Sir Basil.
Miss Q will
Is
do
there
her
a Dame
usual
Basil?
morning thing. Just bake a few things, make some breakfast.
Are you doing the amaranthine thing again?
I am.
Fucking got me.
Just let me know, because I think you actually
Basil's
have to
gonna be like,
determine if you want
"What?"
to use them for
I don't know. I thought I heard
Yeah,
that
I
last
do.
night.
Okay, great.
Or
Yeah,
maybe I was
yeah.
dreaming.
I have to pick it when I
Yeah,
roll
maybe
it.
it wasn't a dream.
Okay, so obviously keep track, because I will not.
Yes, I have writing it down.
Great.
Did you spill too?
Oh, jeez.
I kept the roll out if you want more.
This should be.
Can't take you guys anywhere. Alright, so Mrs. Q is doing her thing. You see her say just a little prayer to the amaranthine. Bake you some morning goodies. And as you are all packing up, you can see, like, Brenna is really keeping an eye on you today, Cam. Even, if possible, even more so than yesterday as she's sort of packing up. She's seems to be staying quite close to Ajax.
What'd she do with the note? Did she?
Oh, I forgot about the note.
She hasn't checked her pockets yet.
It's in her hand.
Yeah, well, you would have switched it out, right? So, go ahead and make a perception check. We'll see if you're keeping an eye out. We'll see if you actually notice what she does with the note. Okay.
10.
10. You saw Brenna wake up, but the smell of Mrs. Q's cooking kind of distracted you, and you kind of lose track of where this note is.
It was Toad in the Hole, in case anyone was wondering.
I love Toad in the Hole.
It was what?
Toad in the Hole.
It's a toad in the
Is
hole.
that a food?
I need to rethink the whole campaign.
What is it?
How do I explain it? How would Google explain it?
It's like the most British thing you could possibly imagine, and it's amazing.
I thought we had that with Bubble and Squeak though.
That is also. So, okay, yeah. So it's like a batter. Like if you have like a Yorkshire pudding batter. Nope, yes, maybe.
Nope.
Okay, right.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, like the puffy thing that British people eat with their roast dinner.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that, but you cook sausages in it. So you
Okay.
bake the whole thing, so it has sausages surrounded by pastry-ish.
Can we have a cooking with Quillam night?
That would be. We could have you in virtually, Steph. It could be like one of those virtual chef nights.
We need to upload more to our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Really pump the subs.
Get more content.
That would be amazing.
But don't
I'd
they
be
do
so
that with
in
Lord
for
of the
that.
Rings? Like, don't they do that where you cook like the lambus bread and stuff like that?
I have a whole
Lord of the
recipe book
Rings
of
and-
Tolkien food.
Yeah, we could have Humblewood food.
Yes.
Great idea. Okay, so you have what's it called?
Toad in the Hole.
You have Toad in the Hole for breakfast for everyone.
Yes, everyone gets it.
It's a nice warm meal in your tummy, which is great. But as you all pack up and go to set off for the day, with the 13.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
How's Elle doing?
Oh yeah. So Elle, you remember everything. It is just like
Okay.
a dream that you are used to having, where some dreams are repetitive that you've had. You playing with the wind, things like that. So those get kind of repetitive. Those are 50-50 whether you remember like, oh, what a nice experience or not. Some dreams are a little more vivid where you would remember something different. So if the wind did anything different at the time. This is one of those vivid dreams.
Okay.
I'm going to leave it up to you how you react to that knowledge. But you remember everything. Same with you, Apoc. You remember your dreams. So how's Elle doing?
She wakes up and feels a little funny. She's gonna look in her bag for the packet of tea and just smell it. And it's gonna bring back memories of Emrys from the bandit camp, and she's gonna pack up her stuff and kind of watch the party. Would she get any kind of glimpse that Apoc has also had an eventful night?
That's a great question.
Can I
Apoc,
roll to
how are you
see?
doing? I'm gonna leave it up to you how your characters are reacting. I'm not gonna tell you how you feel. So how's Apoc doing today?
You seem like a little bit tired, but nothing too out of the ordinary. If you want, you can roll insight.
Okay, I'm gonna roll insight.
Sure. Yeah.
If you'll let me do that.
No, absolutely. Yeah. If you're good with that, go ahead and roll an insight, Elle.
16.
Yeah. Probably notice him a little bit off, but not crazy. Not stirring, frantically, alarmed by anything. Just kind of sitting by the fire, quiet, getting some food, and mostly just quiet.
Okay, Elle's gonna amble up to Apoc and, hey, could I have some coffee? I had a bit of a weird dream and I don't quite feel awake.
Apoc takes a swig and passes it to her.
Do I have to roll or did you already roll?
No, you have to roll as well.
This is the best item.
I got a nat 1.
Is that the first time?
Yes.
You go to take a drink and you don't get any.
Just gonna shake it. Oh man.
Oh no, did you finish it?
I don't know, I don't think so.
But it's only... What time is it?
It's 7 a.m.
Well, I've only had one swig.
end it?
For the day.
Oh, no.
I mean, Apoc doesn't know this
Mm.
because this has never happened before.
I was gonna kind of pout a little and be like, I'm so sorry.
Oh, so cute.
How are you doing? You never. Did you need this?
I had a dream. It's the usual dreams I have with the wind, and it talks to me. But this was a little strange. Emerus was there, and then the wind started talking in rhyme, which it doesn't usually do. It's more like more like sonnet, a limerick.
The wind talks to you?
Yeah. Where have you been? It's always talked to me.
Sorry, I'm going through a lot right now.
That was Steph. That was not Elle. Sorry.
No.
Like. Okay, I mean, it was talking to you. What did it say?
She's gonna screw up her face a little bit and try to. I don't know if she'd remember verbatim. I remember there's a crack. Something is stuck. Something about a door. And help us get back.
Wait.
Crack?
You had a crack too? I had a crack in my dream.
Crack, stuck, door, back.
Crack, stuck, door, back. Okay. So you got the words. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to make this about myself. Do you think our dreams are related?
Maybe.
I mean, I was.
What happened in your dream?
Well, you know that thing that we fought yesterday?
The sexy, saucy shadow, yeah.
Yeah, the super sexy one.
Every time.
Every time. I think this thing's been haunting me for a while, but I thought it was gone when we killed it, but then this dream I had last night, I was back in this really, really... I was in the meadow that I first met it, but it was all gray, and well, part of the wall was cracking. It was like this weird glass world. I don't know what it is. But like, it was cracked. So I kept breaking at it. And then, I mean, I finally got the piece off, but it was only one piece in this room of like thousands and thousands of them. But I was stuck.
There's a crack. We're stuck. There's a crack. Open the door.
There's no
Help
door.
us get back. Well, that's what the wind said to me, but the wind didn't sound bad. Did your dream seem bad?
Very.
Uh-oh.
Maybe they're not related.
So- Well, I just wonder if the thing trying to get back is the same thing in your dream that's trying to get back.
I mean,
I don't know. This is all pretty weird. Amaris heard it too.
Wait,
She felt it in the ground, and I felt it in the wind.
you were with Emrys?
Yeah.
Okay. Did it consume your dream? Like, did everything go to the black at the end?
I remember calling to Amaris, and then everything kind of went black, and then I didn't wake up until this morning.
Do you think that thing is... It sounds like that thing. But maybe, like, the wind is your meadow.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure why the wind would be talking to me about this now. My connection's been a little different than usual since Master Weira disappeared. So I don't know if it's connected to that or something like that tidal wave that hit us when we were in the mountains or the field.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot going on.
There is. Oh, I guess we should keep going to these peace talks.
I was gonna say, so what do we... Yeah. What do we do?
know. How about we make a deal?
What's that?
If I have a dream, I'll tell you about it, and if you have a dream, you tell me about it.
Deal.
Okay.
I mean, I kind of
You
have
gotta
these all
shake
the
on
time, so we might. Yeah. Okay. Is it just? Is there a special shake, or is it just like this?
Just like she just starts like waving
All
around.
right. We just shake.
You all see this.
Mrs.
Yeah,
Q.
I imagine you guys shake, you start shaking.
Yeah,
Basil's just like,
they're just chatting,
And then we look
they
at Mrs.
start to
Q.
shake.
Mrs. Q
You start
doesn't shake.
shaking.
Mrs. Q just looks and is like, "This is what happens when you drink too much coffee."
we're all just kind of like standing there. Why are we doing this? No.
Yeah, I'll check this thing in a bit. I'll let you know if there's any tomorrow or later today.
Okay.
Who knows? It's never gone away before. It's always just been there.
Oh, I'm sorry if I broke it.
I can ask Kim to find me another one. He's good at that.
Alright.
More like Cam will steal you another one, and then she just like walks away laughing at what she thinks is a joke.
Mrs. Q chuckles because Mrs. Q was overhearing this and automatically thought the exact same thing. So she chuckles.
Yeah, the last little bit you can overhear. All right. I just have this vision of Apoc just like doing this to try to get the coffee out for the rest of the day. All right. So as the conversation kind of comes to an end, everybody packs up and you head off for the day. It's a little cooler today. There seems to be a wind kind of coming in from the south, sort of hitting you as a headwind. You know that you are, with Apoc's ranger ability of checking the wind, you are heading in the direction of the ocean. So you're heading in the direction of like the biggest body of water around Humblewood. You're still a ways away, but it kind of sucks walking into a headwind all day. Around the noon mark, as you're trudging through, kind of just off to the side, sort of in the savannah, kind of nestled a little bit closer to the mountains, you see these mounds that kind of lift up out of the tall grass of the savannah, and actually it wouldn't be that tall. So you see the mounds kind of lift out over the grass of the savannah, and they seem to almost be twisted and round. There's some that are like taller pillars, some that are shorter. They seem to almost crisscross each other. They're just off into the distance, just a little bit. You can see them, but you can't make out detail. It's heading in the general southern direction, just not as close to the mountains as you thought. As you're traveling.
What are these things? I think I missed the first thing.
So they just look like mounds. It's tough to make out detail.
Okay.
You're kind of getting a bit of a headwind. There's some like dirt that's kind of flying into your face
Okay.
a little
But
bit.
we're seeing some kind of shapes.
You're seeing shapes, but they're very smooth. They're very they're rounded. It's not like a crag of rock
Yeah,
where
okay.
everything is very jagged. It's smooth. There's taller sections. There's shorter sections. It doesn't look big, but it is a difference on the horizon that you're noticing.
Okay. It looks like a change in the geology. Like it looks like a.
It's definitely a change in the flat landscape, mountains on one side, flat on the other.
Okay.
You're noticing these mounds on the flat-ish side.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it's a change in geology, but you can't quite make out the fine. This is a rock kind of feature.
Okay. Do they look uniform in size and shape or no?
From what you can see at this distance, it's kind of. They look uniform. Yes, it looks like it might all be the same structure. There are some taller portions, some shorter portions, but in the sense that it rises out of the ground and then kind of seems to curve sort of rises thin out of the ground, getting bigger and kind of curves.
Mm-hmm.
It's not symmetrical,
Okay.
but it is like it's very interesting. It's an interesting shape to see
Okay.
in this place.
And we are walking towards this.
So if you stay on your current path, you will walk right by it. It's it's into the savanna area a little bit more. You'd have to veer just a little bit. It's kind of hard to tell how much you'll have to veer, but if you can see it, it's either huge or it's close and just kicked off to the side kind of thing.
Interesting.
What would you guys like to do?
We either stick to the path, to stick to getting to Bracken Mill, because we're thinking about the time, or we take a little detour. What would the group do?
Is there anything I'd have that...
Well, you're the one leading us. What's your vote?
I feel like Sir Basil would be like focused on the mission. We should keep headed to Bracken Mill. We gave our word.
If I can be so bold as to make a statement. You see Ajax kind of speak up for the first time in a day and a half. He's kind of keeping his eyes on the ground. General, we're still kind of close to the camp. If it's a tent, we should probably figure out if someone's heading our way or not. In my opinion, of course. He kind of looks up towards you, Basil, and then back down again. You can see him kind of like fiddling, kind of picking at the scales around his talons. Serdian's gonna kind of shrug. If it is an encampment, I'd like to know what it is, even if you have like a spyglass or something that I can see. If they're heading towards the bandits, I mean, I don't want to put my camp in danger. It's something we can take care of, but for sure I agree with you, Basil. We're on a time crunch.
Wait, which direction?
It's not that far off of our heading, right? So it's like just off the edge.
It's like just off.
Is it to the right?
I'm doing this as like mountains on one side. So yeah, sure, it's on the right. You're heading south, so right would be west.
You think it's the people we're gonna meet? The bird folk?
This far away from Bracken Mill?
It's still the kind of right direction. Like they would have to come this way, right? If they're coming from
going
Alderman.
farther.
Mm-hmm.
The city folk veered off the road too early. Yeah, that's probably where they'd end up.
I don't know. I guess there's
There is a
direct road.
road, yeah.
So I don't know.
I told them to meet us north of Bracken Mill. You don't know.
Oh, that's true.
In my experience, council isn't great with directions.
Perhaps
Does anyone have a spyglass? Something I can just see in the distance? A way
Mrs.
to
Q.
see in the distance?
looks at Cam.
Mine's on loan.
I'm thinking like, Bugs Life.
You rolls up a leaf and
Yeah.
puts it down.
Can I do that with a bubble? And like, no.
Could he? Is that how science works?
I mean, you got a leaf. I can put this magnifying glass at the end of it. I can make like a little spyglass with it.
Isn't which is magnifying the right way around?
Well, you
that-
flip it around and...
Oh yeah, that's true.
I think that's it. What?
try his
Yeah.
backwards magnifying glass.
We haven't broken Andrea yet. I don't know what's going to do it.
Yeah.
It's super early in the day, correct?
So this is noon. Like, you've been traveling for about half the day, fighting the wind, but this is about noon.
I'll say, seeing Ajax's concern, and I assume, and you said that Ceridian kind of shares his Ajax's concern too.
So, if they're worried that it's someone going to the bandit camp,
Okay.
essentially. They don't know what it is, but they understand the time pressure as well.
And up till now, we've been making like good time, so to speak?
Following Ceridian and following Ajax, yes, like you have not had anything slowing you down except for the fight in the morning of the second day.
Okay.
You've been making you have not had anything to slow your progress.
Okay.
Can I scrounge together making a spyglass, like a rough one, with this magnifying glass and whatever foliage we have nearby?
Oh boy. Not like a spyglass has multiple lenses or anything like that.
This is better than nothing.
Okay, how does your
I
scrounge?
believe in you.
If this doesn't work, I have another suggestion.
Guidance.
Yeah, I was like, Elle will help look for leaves or anything and give Apoc guidance.
Great. Okay,
I
so
Double
love the
guidance.
Bug's life
Perfect.
inspiration.
We all have
Double
guidance.
guidance. Yeah, I'm gonna say this is definitely gonna be a roll with your Scroungecraft. I know it's not usually a roll. It's
Perfect.
not
No,
one I
that's
can
fine, that's
see,
fine.
But I mean,
Yeah.
you're trying to make a spyglass with a magnifying glass.
Mm-hmm.
Really feel like that's not how these things work.
It's not, but I'm willing to play it out. Like maybe
Can I use the mirror of spell reflections to try?
now we're thinking outside. The
I
box.
would-
It's a mirror though. Mirrors don't amplify.
No. No, they don't. But a
periscope.
magnifying glass
I think
also
you need them in a
isn't.
periscope.
Well,
We
if
go.
you have multiple mirrors, you can create a telescopic lens with it.
It could. Does anybody have another mirror?
I do.
Do
The
it!
one that you spotted. No. You know what? No. I'm not gonna entertain this.
So go ahead and make a roll, Apoc.
Do I add
what
anything?
the hell is this gonna be?
Guidance.
Okay, so your proficiency
Yeah.
is you have Tinker's tools.
Yeah.
And I guess it's a dexterity.
Man, that's the best thing it could
So
be.
I'm gonna set the DC before.
Yeah.
You're trying to make a spyglass with a magnifying glass, some mirrors, and a leaf.
It's not gonna be perfect.
Okay.
Do you
To get
want
a fun-
extra help, Apoc?
I mean, I wouldn't mind like some support.
Okay.
You and Cam are doing a great job though.
Can you
What?
hear us, Steph?
Is this a dex? I'm just double checking. Is this a dex check? A
This
dex
is gonna
This
be a
is
dex
dex.
accuracy
check.
check?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Elle's gonna come over and cast Enhance Ability on Apoc and give him pass,
Oh
right?
my gosh!
What does that do?
You have an advantage.
So you had advantage on dex checks, and you don't take damage from falling 20 feet or less
Oh,
Jeez.
perfect.
Okay.
if you're not incapacitated. So
Great.
let's jump off some cliffs.
Perfect.
So the DC for this is I don't even know. The DC for this is going to be because it's going to be hard to make something like this. It's going to be a 19 to have a passable spyglass.
24.
Jesus.
Woo!
You somehow put this random assortment together and you go to take a look through it. It's not great, first of all. It's an assortment of random crap.
Yeah.
But almost by accident, you kind of have like the mirror in the best spot to get the most amount of light through. So even though your magnifying glass is a little bit fuzzy, it kind of clears the image up just a little bit.
Look like this.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's the kind of image you'll get.
Like
With
yeah,
two,
like it's not great, but it's passable. And yeah, you have to kind of do like the if you squint and like tilt your head to the left,
Yeah.
to the right kind of thing. You go to do this, and what you see, I'm just gonna give it to you. It's still hard to make out the detail, but what you kind of see is that this structure, it seems to be made of a repeating pattern. So the way like a brick wall would look, where it's a repeating rectangular pattern, it seems to be made of something like that. Make a perception check to see if you can determine the pattern.
Are we still in the mountains?
We're still in the mountains.
Okay.
You get your thing. We're still in the mountains.
Alright.
I will not take that away from you. Oops.
17.
Yeah. You're able to make out that these repeating shapes look hexagonal. And they just seem to be making this up. Now, you don't really get any more definition of like the immensity or the size of this thing. Like, you're able to sort of make out, just what it's made of.
Mrs. Q asks Cam
What's up?
if Hugh is still around and could potentially
Are
help.
there bees in this world?
So the story about Hugh.
Is there something I've forgotten?
No,
No?
you haven't forgotten anything, but
Okay.
I might have killed Hugh.
You killed Hugh?
You killed you?
Yes.
What?
Kill you?
Intentionally?
When I leveled up, I got rid of Fight Familiar. So I can't. Hugh will be back in Pog form eventually.
In what?
That's a joke.
Yeah, it's for us oldies. We
Yeah.
would get it.
It's before my time.
Yeah, before all your times. So yeah, no, Hugh had to go on a long trip, and so he won't be back anytime soon.
Mrs. Q's quills get a little bit ruffled because she doesn't like it when the young boys talk to her as if she's an idiot. But she's like, okay, and just leaves it at that.
He's trying to cover for his own mistakes.
Hey, Elle, thanks for the help. Do you want to try it again?
Yeah. Can I try am I gonna try the coffee?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, the coffee.
Oh, I thought it was the telescope.
And me too.
2.
Yeah, you get some.
Yay!
2.
2.
Some nasty rolls.
Get all the bad rolls out now.
Hey, you got it working.
Yeah. I'm so happy I could fix something.
It's gonna be a great day, right, Elle? It's gonna be such a great day. It's gonna be a great day. You're gonna walk a lot. It's gonna be a great day.
Oh, it's gonna be so good. We're gonna go run on trees. We're gonna go visit these giant bee things. It's gonna be great.
Hey, wait, this thing with my hands that you did, how long does it last?
Oh boy.
1 hour.
Oh boy.
You want to go find a tree that we can jump off of?
Yeah. Are there any trees anywhere around us?
So it's a savanna.
So there's a shrub.
There's a tree in every savannah shot that I've ever seen.
I just imagine the group is walking in a line, and then just to the side, just the two of you just running around the field going, ah!
There is there are crags on the mountains. It's like a bluff kind of thing where you could climb up one side and jump off the other, if that's what you're intending.
Only if it's in the direction we're traveling.
I mean, you're traveling parallel to the mountains, so yeah, you might have to walk for a bit, but you can find a crag.
Apoc, let's go!
Alright, let's do it. Takes another swing.
Oh boy.
Yeah, nat 20. It's still good.
It turns into coffee and Bailey's.
Yeah, this is... Apoc's slightly drunk.
Okay. What are you doing? You're gonna go jump off a crag on the mountain?
Is it 20 feet or more?
You can find
Yeah, we're gonna test if Apoc will take damage or not.
Okay. Roll a perception check to see if you can find a crag
Oh my
that's 20
God.
feet up before the hour is over.
Yeah, it's the 20.
Okay, yeah.
Dirty.
You can find one before the hour is over.
5.
3, yeah.
So is it literally he just jumps off and lands like a cat and he's good?
Pretty much, yeah.
So you're saying this will work?
Of course.
You want to do it with me?
I know my stuff. Yeah.
If I hold you, will you take damage?
Oh boy. Oh my god.
I don't know.
This is what happens when you put the sim codes in a room together.
You want to try?
How about I climb on your shoulders and then we jump together?
Alright, let's do it.
Okay.
It's just not how falling works, though.
3, 2, 1, go!
Good job.
Woo!
I mean, you don't take damage, because it literally says you straight up don't take damage from falling 20 feet or less.
As we're getting just a little closer to the ground, Elle kind of has second guesses, and she like puts her wings out to like kind of glide to like slow us down just a little bit, but she tries to do it so Apoc doesn't notice.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think Apoc might be a little too on a coffee high right now. If I ask you to roll a perception check, you're just gonna see it anyways, so.
In the crag?
The Elle opened her wings.
Oh.
Yeah. You both land without any issue. Elle for having wings as a bird folk who can glide, and you because you are now a cat, essentially. Yeah. And you can do that as many times as you want.
I think once is good enough.
But it works.
When we were up on the crag, would we have happened to notice anything about the shapes in the distance?
Yeah, so I'll say you had to walk a little bit farther in order to get to the crag, so you're a little bit closer, like, distance-wise to like a right angle to this thing. And as you were up on the crag, you notice it's only, like, it's not very far, it's only, like, a kilometer away from the mountains. It's...
No, good. Keep going.
Yeah, so from where you are to this thing at a 90 degrees, only about a kilometer away. And from the crag, you can kind of see that it's not tall, like it's not this massive structure. It's a like tight circle, essentially, that kind of waves around and around like a spiral.
Hey, Elle. While we're here, I just want to check and see if they're evil or not. You know, I can sense these kinds of things.
If the rocks are evil?
Yeah, well, these, like, weird shapes, right? There's stuff there, isn't there?
Do you think there's like some bad guys that are now like turned to stone?
I don't know. There could be some saucy, sexy things there that we need to know about.
Okay, use your saucy, sexy sense and see if you can find it.
Oh boy.
Yeah, use my saucy,
this is a
sexy
permanent thing
sense.
for the rest of the
It didn't even make it out of my mouth in a straight.
Okay.
Do I sense anything?
What is it? Like fae, fiend, dragon, all that kind of stuff?
Aberration, elemental. Let me double check it. But yeah, primeval awareness is aberration, celestial, dragon, elemental, fae, fiend, undead. Within a mile.
Yeah. You get like. You get a very, very, very faint, like blip of fae. Just very, very faint.
Ooh, we got some faes nearby.
Yeah. It's not at all like when you sensed the fiend. It's just kind of like a blink and it's gone almost.
Okay.
But that's what you get.
There is one here.
Okay.
I don't know if we need to whisper.
Oh, okay.
We should go tell the group.
I think so. Let's tell Mrs. Q. She'll know what to do.
Okay.
Indeed, she will.
All right.
Can you help me get back up? This is kind of high.
Wait, we have to go back up the crag? Where is everyone?
You guys climbed the
Everybody
crag.
right
Your
now.
party is at the bottom, just kind of like looking at you guys.
We're all standing right there.
Okay.
Yeah. They're like approaching you where you landed off of the crag. Now they're
Gotcha.
caught up.
Okay.
Okay. Hey, are you any good at climbing?
Am I?
Yeah.
I mean, you remember when we had that race?
Oh boy.
I could do it, but I don't know if I'm the best.
Okay. Just don't know if I want to burn a bunch of spell slots doing this.
Maybe Sir Basil can climb.
Oh my god.
You hear that, Basil, as you approach these two on the ground at the bottom of the crag now that you're all caught up.
Oh, they caught up to us. We're good.
Hey guys, there's something fey around here.
Is it the thing in the distance? Ceridian to you.
Does it feel like the thing in the distance?
I don't think you get a direction with your primeval awareness. The thing in the distance is the only thing you can see, but that, I mean, you're within, you're still in the mountains, so it's a 6 mile radius for your awareness, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 6 miles.
So did we ever figure out what it was?
The last one?
The thing that just sorry.
Not really.
Yeah, you know it's fey. I don't know where it is.
Very
It's just there.
So is it something to worry about or not?
I'll tell you if it gets closer.
Why don't you guys just, like, stay? Let me just go take a look. I just need to make sure that no one's going to attack my camp.
Can Mrs. Q pipes up? And first of all, she asks Andrea.
Okay.
Would Mrs. Q, having, like, grown up in the foothills of the mountains, have any knowledge of, like nomad fae that travel the savannah, or like stuff like this, like other
there's
common things?
There's folklore stories of fairies and fae and satyrs and all that fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's children's tales, but the Feywild is a place.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're aware of that from your tales. Like residing here, not really. It wasn't quite your focus to focus on stuff like that, but not really.
Okay.
But you have. This is new. This is not something that any of you have seen.
Okay.
Do we get a sense of like how long it would take to just go
At
check
this
it out and come back?
magnitude. Say that again?
Do we get a sense of how long it would take to go check it out and come back?
So it's a kilometer away. A kilometer to walk is like 10 minutes.
Okay. Maybe Sir Basil, kind of seeing the concern from Ajax and Ceridian, just suggests, well, we're making good headway. Maybe we can spare a few minutes and check it out.
If you guys just go ahead, I will meet you. I just need to check it out.
May I suggest taking someone super stealthy, just in case? I know you may not always see eye to eye, but he is very good at staying hidden. And he can back you up, and I can make him promise to do so.
You'll watch over Ajax?
Yep.
Alright, we'll be fast.
Okay. Cam,
What's up?
you're going to go with Ceridian to check out this thing that we don't know about. We don't know what it is.
Sure.
But you are her backup. Can you promise me that you won't do that? And you will help and not hinder the process and come back with her.
Pausing for a second too long. Yeah, I can.
All right.
You turn back to Ceridian and she is gone. You can see her like already walking in the distance.
I start
towards it.
chasing after.
Okay, great. Yeah, so as you two go to approach, unless there's anything you wanted to do.
As Cam's walking away,
Yes, love it.
Apoc wants to cast Hunter's Mark on him.
Love it.
Okay.
Yeah. Love that.
Okay, yeah,
Oh.
Hunter's Mark is going.
Friendship is complicated.
Do I know that I'm marked?
I don't. I mean, well, for you it's the fleas, isn't it? Don't they point in and how does what is it?
I mean, I've like loosely flavored it as the fleas, but like, yeah, let's just say there's one flea that's kind of tagged onto his back.
Okay.
Just sitting on top of his head. Just
Yeah.
kinda like-
And it's not something malicious. It's just he wants to be able to find Cam if he doesn't come back.
Yeah, okay, you're Hunter's Marked. I'm gonna say you likely don't notice the one flea.
And it's at 2nd level, by the way.
Okay,
So it lasts 8 hours
great.
instead of 1.
Okay, you are concentrating now.
Yep.
Alright, so as you go to walk out, Ceridian is keeping like a 10-foot gap between you two so you can keep an eye. Now, the grass in the savannah is not high, like it is... You're just at the cusp of it, so it's like kind of brushing around your knees. But as you walk up to approach this thing after minutes of silence, unless there's anything you want to say to her...
If you want me to go in, I can be really stealthy.
I am not letting my eye off of you.
Well, you might not have a choice if I go invisible to help that.
Goes invisible.
Yeah, you're right. I guess I don't.
Goes invisible.
Great. She draws her sword.
Cool.
And is walking with her sword now. As you approach...
Yeah, I like to just go in. That's all.
Okay.
Go towards it.
As you approach this thing, I'm not sure if Apoc shared the building blocks of this, but you start to notice...
Oh, I would have told everybody.
Okay.
Because we were looking as a group. Yes.
So you see, like, the closer you get the hexagonal pattern, and the closer you get, you're like, I've seen this before. And as you get to it, Ceridian kind of, like, lets out a laugh as she gets closer. It is a massive honeycomb.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's this massive beehive. It's like 15 feet tall. It looks like there's almost the way a honeycomb kind of goes, where it's looped in on itself with air pockets. It looks like you can walk in between two walls of honeycomb, but it
So cool.
is this massive honeycomb in the middle of the
Amazing.
savannah.
That's so cool.
What do you do?
I'd like to work my way into this honeycomb to try and take some of that sweet, sweet nectar.
Yeah. How far in do you go? Because we're talking the space here is like a narrow kind of.
I'd like to get inside.
Okay. Just make a dex check for me to see how sticky you get.
Remind me later, we need to watch the giant bee episode of Futurama.
Okay.
14.
14. You try to navigate all the way to the middle. It's like a spiral as you're going around.
Okay.
And every so often, you go to try and take the turn and like your elbow touches and you pull it off and it's got sticky honey. And then as you do so, you reach and your other elbow touches and you're getting kind of, there's some honey in your fur, but you're able to wiggle to the middle. And it is your 15-foot tall pillars. You are kind of standing just right in the middle.
Do I see any creatures?
Make a perception check.
Be one heck of a bee.
18.
18. You do not see anything at this point in time.
I would like to fill any of my empty bottles with honey.
Yeah, easy enough to do. Like it's oozing from the walls. The honeycombs are kind of like the size of like this and hexagons. I can't do that with my hands. I don't know. So they're about this size. They're not massive. So it's easy enough to
Join us.
it's easy enough to kind of like even like scoop a little or just get some that's dripping into vials. Like easy enough to collect all that honey.
Okay.
And the air just smells sweet. And then you're able, once you fill everything up, you're able to kind of
It's
once more
possible.
sort of tapping the walls as you go, but there's some casualties, honey in the fur, but you're able to wiggle your way back out.
Could be different days.
Yeah, I think that's all.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't burn this thing down.
That's nice. Who didn't think of that?
Ceridian is gone as you exit.
Fire plague in
You were
this one.
invisible. She was not waiting.
Okay. Do I know which way to go?
You came from the mountains.
Okay.
Easy enough to get back
Cool.
to the mountains. Yeah. But you're able to kind of regroup. You see Ceridian there talking to the group. Everyone's kind of looking out expectantly as invisible
10 minutes.
Cam.
Yeah, I'm still not visible yet.
Can we see like a sheen of honey on an invisible thing?
Yeah.
Like, can we see the honey but not you?
Anything that's like on my person is
Like
also
honey footprints coming.
That's what I'm hoping for, like, you know, like Pooh Bear style.
Any honey that did touch him does go invisible.
No
it is
pants
windy,
now.
so you don't even see like
Yeah.
the grass is moving. You don't even really see him coming up through the grass. Like the grass is moving in the wind, so it's not like a clear-cut path where Cam is coming.
Okay.
So unfortunately, you don't see anything as much as I would love the
That would
comedic
have been
value.
so great.
But you have Hunter's Mark.
I mean, I just have advantage on finding them with the survival check.
So 20 minutes has gone by. Unless Cam announces himself, I would give you a survival check.
Good. So,
25 minutes goes by.
It's a 10.
25 minutes goes by. 30 minutes goes by. You can see
After
Ceridian shipping.
after, like, are you guys heading out? Or are you just
Is
waiting?
Ceridian's back?
Ceridian's back. She
Oh.
came back
Just
before
waiting
Cam.
for Cam.
You
To-
wanna explain what's going on? Where's
Your
Cam?
friend went invisible. I called his name. He didn't answer. I don't know where he went.
I
thought
checked
he
my
might have headed
pockets.
back.
I know him too well.
You find everything there.
Okay. You guys got all your stuff?
I think so. Knowing Cam, he's probably around somewhere.
So I think we should head out then, or else we're really gonna lose time.
I'm not leaving without him.
He's not here.
Cam?
Is there anything?
Ceridian kind of like shifts her pack.
And then I think with that, I'll be like, oh, you know, like I'll dispel the invisibility. Like I'll just like should look like I'm walking back up to the group.
Oh shit.
Man, honey, Mrs. Q, I thought this would be perfect for some of your recipes. You can kind of mix up the flavors of your cooking.
You think I need to mix up the flavors of my cooking?
You see, like my eyes are twisted. Like he finally tried to do something nice.
Mrs. Q just has a chuckle. She's just screwing around. She has a sense of humor just by being old. She takes the
Well
honey.
played.
If you could
Eric
picture,
for a second.
if you can picture crestfallen, that's the look on his face.
Mrs. Q laughs and says, "I'm just kidding," and she says that she will very happily whip up some hot honey cakes with dinner.
Oh, lovely. You know, one of those poison. All right, let's go.
You are an agent of chaos.
You are such a disturber of the peace. She puts them in her bag and is hoping that you're joking.
Neither of them are.
Okay, great.
Oh, they're both.
Alright. Alright, you do get like a little chuckle out of Ajax, but just like a huff almost. And then you are able to continue on your way. The wind has started to die down as you continue moving forward, kind of trudging along. It's getting a little bit easier as twilight is coming. And as you look up, I would like everyone to roll a perception check for me, please. They see nothing.
13.
Oh, that's good.
Still in the mountains. Although you're near the very end of
I'm
it.
surprised you're still giving me it.
You're still in the mountains. You're in the foothills of it.
Okay. 26.
Holy jeez.
19.
Okay. No. Steph, perception? Or Elle, sorry.
4.
Great.
She's on a coffee sugar high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, drink some more. You have to roll first.
14 on that.
Take that. So Apoc and Mrs. Q are the only ones that notice this. You in particular, as we are leaving the mountains at this point. This is kind of your last afternoon before exiting into the expanse of the savannah, leaving the mountains to the side. You're at the southernmost tip of the mountains now. And as you kind of start to make your way out of the mountain area and into the savannah, getting near to the twilight, you see, again, like very close in the distance, we're talking maybe like, it'd be a little harder to see this actually, so maybe about 500-600 meters in front of you, you see these mounds in the earth. You're into more of a low grass area here as you're getting a little bit closer to the coast. The air is a little warmer now that the wind has died down. but you see mounds, like very little hills, straight in the direction that you're going.
Are they bare earth mounds?
So it looks like they're covered in grass.
Okay.
It's extremely familiar to you.
Okay. Do I need to roll to remember that?
Georgina might, but Mrs. Q would not.
Okay.
I'll text you.
Okay.
Can I combine another primeval awareness while we're getting out of the mountains?
Sure, yeah.
Can I just do that again?
So how's it going, Basil? You having a good day, or like it's weather's been
So your
holding up?
primeval awareness,
It's pretty
you
good,
put
actually,
out the
yeah,
sense
yeah.
one last
smoke in the
time.
pipe.
You do not sense anything.
Have you been able to
in this
control
area.
bubbles to like make shapes and stuff?
You'll see him shape it into, I don't know, like a
But
little mouse just like running around.
Whoa, that's intense. I love it.
so it is kind of dead in front. You sort of see like 1, 2, 3. This kind of little cluster of these mounds. They're sort of at different. Slightly different distances is what I'm going to say. Do you continue moving forward?
Mrs. Q, looking at the terrain, suggests maybe skirting around the lumps because she's getting up there in age and it might be difficult to walk on such difficult ground. And suggests skirting around the lumpy bits.
Not gonna argue with you.
If anyone wants to, you can roll insight on that. Sorry, go ahead, Apoc.
No, it's okay. Jeez.
9.
I also rolled, but it was a 4. Whatever you say, Mrs. Quillam.
Is that 5 or 3? Is that 1 5 or 1 3?
That's 15.
That's a 15. Right?
Oh.
Yeah. No, I couldn't tell if it was 5 or 3. That's a 17.
17?
Yeah.
Something's going
Seemed to
on.
go.
Yeah.
And Mrs. Q wants to go around. She's a little on the old side. What did you roll? Oh, sorry. I thought you rolled. I thought you rolled. If you didn't roll, don't worry.
19.
19? But it's interesting, though.
Yeah. Mrs. Q made something. She made a weird noise at the end of that statement.
I mean, it is a hedgehog, so.
That's true.
Yeah.
Alright, what do you do?
Rolling greenhouse.
Follow her lead.
I guess so.
Green.
I mean, good news, you guys. That weird bay thing is gone. It was probably back in the mountains somewhere.
Okay.
Green
Lead
hills.
the way, Mrs. Q.
hedgehog.
Move.
Yeah.
Where are you
Could it
moving?
be?
I don't know. Maybe we find some
Around.
rings.
We should probably go
Yeah.
fast if we're gonna go by this.
Gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast.
At the speed of sound.
Gotta go fast.
There's 2 conversations going on. One on this side of the table, one on this side of
Probably
the
should
table.
ignore this side.
All right. So as you start to walk up and just start to skirt on the outside, you're passing around the hills, and it's a little difficult to see because it's getting into twilight. So the hills are like they're only about 8 feet tall. Looks like it's kind of coming right out of the ground. That's about the best clarity you get in the twilight. But as you pass, with your perception roll, I'm carrying it over you as well, Mrs. Q. You see like fence posts old wooden fence posts that are leaning, very, very weathered, quite decayed. You see like a very old kind of your footsteps on it, like the wheel of a cart. Again, very weathered and decayed. As you're kind of skirting around, just signs of life.
This is the place that burnt down, right?
Are you asking Ceridian?
Yeah.
No.
No? Wasn't there a fire
My
or something?
my farm was to the very north of
Okay.
Bracken Mill. We are at the. I mean, if it was a
way more north.
yeah, we're way more north.
Okay. Huh.
I don't know of any villages this north.
Why you got that smirk on you, Mrs. Q?
This is a Georgina smirk, not a Mrs. Q.
Insight check.
Mrs. Q is staying very quiet. She's not saying a word about anything.
Why build a fence on a hill?
Why are you looking at me? We didn't do that.
I don't know.
I mean, we built fences around our farms and around our stables, but like everybody builds fences around farms and stables.
So you're saying this is a farm or a stable?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know of anything this far north. I thought the bandit camp was the only thing this
Anybody got a cowbell?
No.
Oh.
I have a bell, but not a cowbell.
Can you make it sound like a cowbell?
No. Maybe.
Very
Thinking if we're on-
specific.
Yeah, but if we're on a farm and a cowbell rings, people generally think there's food.
Yes.
and
Yes, I
yeah.
can.
You're gonna see if anything comes?
Sure.
Mrs.
I don't know, I'm just curious.
Is Mrs. Q hearing all of this?
Oh,
This is eerily
Yes.
quiet, right?
So I blow out my bell.
Yeah.
Mrs. Q grabs it
Okay.
and says, "Let resting places lie." And just, I don't know, gives it back or puts it in a bag or
Are
something.
we in a graveyard?
Did you just take my bell? Did you just...
You can have it back, just don't ring it, okay?
No, game recognizing game. That's amazing.
Just takes it, pockets it.
What do you mean let resting places lie?
She's not going to talk about any of it. She's not saying a word.
That's not how this works. We're a team.
We are a team.
When it's convenient for you.
Now, Apoc, you know me better than that. There are times for sharing,
I don't know
and
if
there
I
are
do.
times for focusing on the task at hand.
You've never shared.
What are you talking about? You've known me for many years. You know me well.
I don't even know what the Q stands. No, I do know what the Q stands
I don't even know what the Q stands for.
So Basil will chime in and say, Mrs. Q, or more like Mrs. Q, why did you want us to take this path? It seemed to me that perhaps just going straight would have been the simpler and better option. Why divert us all this way?
Mrs. Q takes a second before she responds and sort of just looks in the direction that she was trying to avoid. And
Basil he sees you looking away, so he kind of just goes like, to kind of see where are you looking?
she can. She says, no matter how much time passes, there are some paths that awaken memories that are just still too painful.
You just see Apoc like, oh.
I was expecting words to come out of your mouth, but nothing did.
In this kind of moment of lull in conversation, the wind that you've been fighting all day long kind of picks up, and you hear just a like some wood on rusted hinges just swaying. Okay.
We get a sense like how close that noises come from? Like, would be able to be like, what's coming from over there?
Coming from... I'm going to let Apoc's
Sure.
perception continue
Sure.
to go, so you unfortunately can't pinpoint it, but Apoc, Mrs. Q, with your rolls, it's the... that sound is coming from the area of the mounds.
Creaking under the mounds? Is this a hedge thing? You don't need to tell me what it is. Because I think I can guess.
It's a hedge thing.
Alright. Why she's smiling, so I want to smile.
I smile because it's hard to make eye contact with someone with a straight face.
It's hard when you're trying to improvise and your character is serious, but you're just like,
Yes.
don't blink.
Try and be serious.
That's what it's like talking to Eric playing Cam at any
Yeah,
point.
I don't know how you do it.
Mrs. Quillam, I'm the first one to embrace the chaos. But if you think we should go, I'm with you. Whatever you want to do.
Mrs. Q, has anything else happened after this creek?
No, the wind is like picking
okay.
up a little bit, so it's
Okay.
kind of starting to like sway in, sway out,
Okay.
sway in, sway out once more.
Okay. What did she say? She says, I will not stop anyone doing what it is they feel they need to do in order to feel safe and feel equipped for what comes next. But whatever you choose to do, I will have to remain here if you are going over there.
So you're saying we can go over there and get equipped?
It is more of a general thing to say, Apoc. If you feel you need to, use the little boar's room or something, go ahead.
You're allowed to, you guys don't mind if we do that?
Mrs. Q is getting visibly frustrated, which is unusual for her because she's normally very composed, but she is having a lot of emotional turmoil on the inside that she is trying to control.
There's loot and toilets down there.
I go hold her hand.
Thank you.
Ajax is also going to kind of come over and just offer his arm once more. His eyes are kind of still facing the ground, but...
Mrs. Q takes it. She's cool with that. Miss Q says, one day, when all of the mess is over, I will tell you everything. But it takes a lot out of me to do it, and takes me a long time to recover. So let's save it for when there are less important things to worry about.
So Basil just shakes his head in agreement and says, then we'll carry on.
To the west.
Alright.
She's saying I shouldn't put up this poster.
I can totally guess.
I'll just talk over them. I don't know what to do. Can't hear what they're saying, and it's probably trouble.
Pretty
anyways.
sure it's advertisements for the Warlogs.
Got it.
Am I
This
right?
cool new design, yeah.
When it's a tree.
Alright, as the wind kind of picks up once more, you hear that same creak kind of coming, swaying.
Is it saying
And-
anything? Elle? Is it saying anything?
Can Elle stop and listen? I don't know if I have anything specific I could do other than meditate on it.
You've been buffeting this wind all day long.
Gotcha.
This is a warmer wind because you are now kind of out of the mountain, although there is now nothing really stopping this headwind from coming. You can hear the creaking of this rusty hinge. I don't really know how else to describe it, but that's what it sounds like. You can kind of see what everyone is talking about, but the wind is not intentionally trying to contact you. So there's nothing to hear, Elle, so much as this sound.
I'm not so sure if it is the wind talking to me, Apoc, but with that hinge, it sounds like a door, and the wind did say they're stuck and we need to open a door.
It's something here?
But I don't know if it's this door.
I think this door opened if we're hearing it.
So does that mean they're out?
Maybe.
Aww.
Amazing.
Maybe we should just keep going. Mrs. Q seems freaked out here.
She seems,
and
to clarify the emotion that you're seeing, she seems like distant and forlorn. If I were to like sum up the emotion.
Yeah.
Alright. So I'm gathering that we're moving past. The group is moving past.
Yes.
Unless Cam wants to ruin everything.
Is the group moving past?
Yeah.
Sounds like we're moving past. Okay. Okay, so it is the twilight hours. It's not going to be long before it is again pitch black at the end of the third day. One more day towards Brackenmill. You maybe get another, 45 minutes to an hour away from this place at, I'm sure, the behest of Mrs. Q, before it is too dark to travel safely. And Ceridian forcibly stops you all to set up camp. So you're not too far away from the mounds themselves. But as we set up camp, you are in a wide open plain in this case. You're in between the mountains and the perch of Brackenmill. Kind of exposed, the wind kind of still buffeting you. Unless there's any final thing anyone wanted to do, we will end there for the night.
So we're sleeping in a camp outside of a graveyard. That sounds sketch. You don't need to confirm what it was, but that sounds sketch.
We don't know it is
No,
or
I
isn't
know.
a graveyard.
We just see that there's remnants of life.
You only
Like
made
a
it about
ransacked village or something.
45 minutes away, walking away from this place. Like in the daylight, you might still be able to see it, but it is dark.
Okay. Once it's gotten dark and we're kind of sitting around, Elle's going to take out her book and she's going to just be looking through it for any kind of stories or anything about hedgehogs and a graveyard and squeaky doors. Pretty much anything relating to like her dream and just anything. Even though she knows these stories so well, she kind of knows she won't find anything, but it's comforting to look.
So at this point, we've
I'll get back to you on that as a point. Sorry, go ahead.
We've made camp, but people haven't got to sleep yet. Like we're not sleeping.
Correct. Yeah. If we want to keep going, if everyone's good to keep going for like an end scene, sure. Yeah. Let's do it. So you have made camp, unless you're trying to find a place, like you're in open savanna. There were no trees that you saw. I believe you should have I don't even know if you have tent stuff. The only
bedrolls.
Yeah, bedrolls. So you are out in the open.
Okay.
Fire out in the open. The only cover you might have had is in those mounds, but you have chosen to pass it. So about 45 minutes passed.
Okay.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
But there's the thing that Mrs. Q would do would probably be once everyone's asleep.
So Mrs. Q taking the first watch, I guess. That's the only way to ensure everyone would be asleep.
Yeah.
So on your first watch,
Mrs. Q, she wouldn't be alone on a watch, right?
I'm gonna leave that
Do you
to
want somebody with you?
Presumably, I would
stay
be
up with you.
on watch with someone.
Who would you want?
Your choice.
Yeah, who would you want?
Who do you want? Ceridian and Ajax are also up for grabs, but that is up to you. Actually, I'll say Ajax is probably down for the count again. he had an ordeal. He's out.
Yeah, that's true.
You could also insist everyone else go to sleep, technically.
No, in this particular scenario, that wouldn't be a good idea. Mrs. Q would probably pick someone who had night vision because it's never good when no one has night vision. She picks Cam because Cam was able to give her night vision before, and she asks Cam while they were on watch,
Give night vision?
are you able to do that again? And she asks if you're able to do it again. And so she asks, would you do that right now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool. And then Mrs. Q asks, says, I'm gonna be gone for about an hour. And I would prefer if you didn't make a big fuss over it, but I will be back.
There's one thing I can do is keep a secret.
Cool.
Secret safe with me. You only have an hour for that night vision. just
That's
so you
perfect. I'll make sure I'm back in an hour. Mrs. Q disappears for an hour.
Okay. Mrs. Q disappears for an hour.
Yeah, and none of the, she wouldn't talk about what she did, but for the sake of you knowing what I did, because it would require the use of an item, Mrs. Q walks about half an hour back towards the mounds, and when she gets as close as she can, knowing that she still has to turn back and get back, she takes out her staff of flowers, and she uses one of the, how does this? She uses one of the charges in a little bare patch of earth somewhere close to the mounds, and a little forget-me-not appears on the ground and blooms on the ground, and she just sort of stands there quietly and kind of cries, and then makes her way back and thanks Cam for his gift of the sight that she needed in order to do what she felt she needed to do, and that's it.
I love it, yeah. With your dark vision, only because you're going to get that close and you have 300 feet of dark vision, this would be a little bit clearer than trying to look in twilight at dark things without dark vision. You would get a better view of the state of this place. It's in pretty good shape, but everything looks weathered. As though time has gone by. A significant amount of time has gone by here. All the wood is, well, you can only see in shades of gray after a certain amount for dark vision, but you can see the door that has been making noise, and it's hanging on one hinge, sort of going back and forth. But it has almost in a way remained untouched from the way you remember it, with the exception of time. Just passing time. Roll an insight for me. It's going to be high because you're looking in the dark here and trying to make things out.
17.
As you turn away and start to head back, something just kind of yes, time has gone by, but something kind of tickles in the back, just how long has it been? As you kind of waddle back home, or back to the group. Anything else?
That's it.
Anything else from anyone?
No, I think it's a good spot.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll end it there because it is 10:15.